Greetings everyone, Cameron McCasland here, back from Fright Night Film Fest. I've actually been back for a couple days, but just haven't had time to check in with you guys. It was a good time. The screening for Easy Chewy went really well. It was like the second movie shown at all, like at 6:15 on Friday. Had a decent turnout. For all the screening rooms in the place were pretty small as it was, so it turned out pretty good. And they actually screened it back to back twice because some people missed it the first time out. So that was pretty cool. Got a good laugh. It actually got nominated for Best Comedy, but it didn't win. Didn't expect it to even get nominated, which just because this was more of a horror themed thing, and we were just looking for a place to screen it. So appreciate everyone at Fright Night who came out to the screening, and everyone who actually set up the screening. Ken Daniels and all those guys, primo, job with all that. So saw some pretty cool stuff. I'll just run a couple things by you. I got this T-shirt here, Critters, which is a movie I reviewed a couple weeks back. If you can see that, the guys at I think it's fastcustomshirts.com hooked me up with that and some other stuff. I got like a Crazy Fat Ethel t-shirt, which was awesome. Death Race 2000, and I don't even remember. I got a couple t-shirts. I also picked up some various bootleg DVDs at this thing, which was pretty cool because I didn't expect to see that stuff there. A guy named Ethan Wenberg at squidworks.com did this really cool zombie caricature of me. So look at that with the eyeball hanging out. That's pretty good. This is his name if you want to look him up. Again, his website is called squidworks.com. I'll try to get all this stuff I'm talking about up in the sidebar so you can go visit these people if you want. Also, I went and checked out a short film called Dead Air by a guy named Chuck Skibe, I think is how you pronounce the last name. Forgive me if I have pronounced this wrong. I talked to Chuck. He actually came to my screening, and I in turn came to his. It's his first narrative. It's a zombie flick. It's a lot of fun. It's classic. Here we are trapped in the basement kind of thing. So check it out. I'll get the link over here. It is up on YouTube, so you can watch that there. Highlights, basically, it was pretty cool. Like, we went out to see The Exorcist. I missed Mad Men because I had been up all day. My oldest daughter started school that same morning, so I'd been up since like 6 a.m. So me and my friend who came to the fest with me, we skipped out early, and we missed Mad Men, which was kind of a shame. But we got back to the hotel. Apparently, like there was an Alice Cooper tribute band that played a concert that night who set off the smoke detectors, which was pretty awesome. Because when we got back, there was all these people standing out in the parking lot in their underwear. So we ended up going across the street to the bowling alley and just getting margaritas or something. So that was a lot of fun. Highlight of the weekend, most definitely, was the Dead Pit movie, which is called Into the Pit. I got a copy of the DVD here. It's called Into the Pit: The Shocking Story of Deadpit.com. Of course, the creepy Kentuckian and Uncle Bill were in attendance along with the filmmakers. And totally different vibe than what I thought it was going to be about. To give you a little backstory, my history with Dead Pit is, it's like I actually listened to their MySpace show more than I listened to like the Deadpit.com show. I have listened to it before whenever they've had some of the interviews, but I just don't do a lot of podcasts or anything like that. So with like MySpace, I'll open it up whenever I'm checking all my messages and kind of let it play and hit the highlights on the news for the week though. Other than that, like I don't follow a lot. I know about those guys. There was a little bit of controversy, of course, with the Rondo Awards this last year, which I picked up one for the Dr. Gangrene stuff, and these guys were nominated. And if you didn't know about that, it's a pretty funny story all the way around. So you should check that out. There was a whole lot of just awesomeness going on. As I think it was good for everybody involved, including getting some news out about the actual Rondo Awards. So that was a lot of fun. The movie, to touch on that, it's not what I thought it was going to be, because I thought we were going to see a more, this is how we built Deadpit.com, but it's different than that. I don't know. It's like I wouldn't really even say it's a feel good movie, but you kind of just get a vibe for how these guys grew up and what they have gone through living in this small town Kentucky, which to a point I can relate with. I grew up in small town Texas. Just a different vibe. It's pretty cool though. I mean, like I don't know, like kind of talks a little bit about the difference between wanting to move forward kind of with their lives or keep doing Deadpit.com. It's a good story. You probably won't see it for a while. I don't think this was of course a work print edition, so it was a little bit rough around the edges as far as like they had another color corrections. They said they were still going to trim 10 or 15 minutes. They sold this DVD, but for the most part, I don't think I don't know that you're able to get this anywhere but at that film festival. So if you didn't get a chance to see it there, you probably won't get a chance to see it for a couple months or maybe even a year. I don't know. I know they're going to do film fest screenings, and I'm sure it'll do well because the movie was a lot of fun. It was by far the best thing that I saw the whole weekend. I don't know. Like, I don't know what to say to not give everything away, but I think if you're like a hardcore Dead Pit fan, you're going to be a little bit surprised because it's not nearly as harsh as those guys come off sometimes. I mean, it's you know, you see parents talking about this and kind of what they did, and some great photos of kids, which I'm sure was incredibly embarrassing. From as far as I know, it was the first time those guys had seen the movie as well. So, in true Dead Pit form too, it was kind of, and I'll tell the story simply because I think a lot of people will appreciate it. Whenever the room was double booked for 10 o'clock, and they'd been telling everybody all day, Dead Pit movie, 10 o'clock. So we get there, and it was standing room only. Somebody comes in to start the film. They were like, we don't have a copy of that film. This other movie's scheduled, and forgive me for, not knowing what the name of that movie was. And they basically said, hey, who wants to see the Dead Pit movie? And 50 people raised their hands. And then they say, who wants to see this other movie? 3 people raised their hands. And the guy was like, well, it's the one on the schedule, so I'm going to play that. So they play this movie. Everybody gets up and walks out of the room except for these 3 people who came to see it. So, for about 10 minutes, everyone's just kind of hanging in the hallway there. And I don't know, it was just funny because, like, people were getting rowdy. There was guys who, of course, had brought beer to the screening. And so it's just getting rambunctious. They ended up going in. Someone from the festival went in, said, listen, we got this group of guys who want to see this movie, and, there's more people here. So they kicked them out, stopped their movie in the middle of it, kicked them out, and put on the Dead Pit movie, which is the perfect way for this to go out with the first screening. It's just a good story. But anyways, I'll put the links up to, I know that those guys at Dead Pit do a lot of videos on YouTube. I subscribe to them. You should too. I'll also put links to their website, as well as the links to the other people I talked about, which was fastcustomshirts.com, squidworks.com, and Chuck Skibe's movie Dead Air. So check all those things out. If you guys were at Fright Night Film Fest, I met a whole lot of cool people that are both from here at YouTube, as well as Twitter and Facebook and MySpace and all those things, which I'm on. If you search Cameron McCasland, you will find me on there. Got to talk to a lot of cool people, and it was a good piece. Linda Blair was incredibly funny. She talks a lot about saving puppies, and that's great, but she sure talks about it a lot. I don't know, a lot of cool things. I got to, I ran into Michael Madsen by the pool, just kind of hanging out the first night, and I was like, hey, Michael Madsen, cool. Said hello, but there's nothing I could have said to that guy that wouldn't have been super nerdy, because I am like way too big of a Reservoir Dogs geek on that, that thing. In that news, I'm going to go see Inglourious Basterds like probably tomorrow night. I'm going to stay up late and do that whole thing. But other than that, also other funny story, which I will just relay this because I got a little bit of time on this video. The coolest thing about Fright Night Film Fest going on, and like it was more, it's kind of a convention on top of a film fest. It's more geared towards that than like a true film festival. But they were also having this like Civil War reenactors meeting or something at the same hotel. So I get there and I check in the hotel, I drop my bags off, and I come back down to the main foyer, and there's all these guys walking around in like North and South uniforms. And who walks down the staircase but Abraham Lincoln himself with his wife? And it was just funny because like all these soldiers like parted ways, and they're like, good afternoon, Mr. President, like playing along. I'm like, man, this is just crazy. But like it was so funny because like as the seas parted, and you see Abraham Lincoln like in the full regalia with the hat and all thing, walking down the middle of the hallway. On the very, very far end of the hallway, you could see these guys in like, Jason and Michael Myers costumes. So I was thinking, I want to see that movie, like Jason versus Abraham Lincoln. But anyways, that's neither here or there. So anyways, check out all this stuff. Into the Pit, the shocking story of deadpit.com, which is trailers and stuff I'm sure coming soon, and everything else. Check links in the sidebar. If you love this, then hit the subscribe button. I do, movie reviews and all that stuff. And for everyone who's waiting, I did get your messages. I am going to be reviewing some new stuff, hopefully this weekend. I'm trying to get to that. So, till next time, catch you later.